Welcome to episode 114 of my Dissect Remember, my scattered thoughts. I want to encourage you to be aware of the fact that no matter how old you are, you can get new ideas and learn new things. Because it happened to me this morning. For some reason, during meditation before Mass, I was thinking about the fact that God is simple. That's one of the characteristics of God. We can see that in Thomas Aquinas' Summa. But how can God be simple if the world is so complex, how do we understand the simplicity of God? And this thought occurred to me. It's probably not original. There's probably hundreds of people who had this thought before, but I had it this morning that we can take the human mind and how we use language and how we have thoughts. So take the word, for example, courage. When I say courage, we understand what that means, why. We have multiple examples of different people doing courageous acts in war or in other circumstances, and we can point to them. And yet, somehow, the idea of courage embraces them all. We're not thinking of all those different things when we think of courage, and yet we have a knowledge of what it is, which is simple in itself, even though it comes from many sources. And it doesn't come from the sound. I mean, courage, is a sound which we put into letters, which represent the sounds. But you can have coraggio and courage, which is spelled the same way. But also you have Mut in German is the sound for the word that means courage. So that somehow it's not the sound which unifies our experiences of courage. So it's not the word in its physicality that does that, but somehow the word proceeds from our mind, call it an idea or a concept, and that concept is simple, even though it embraces this almost probably infinite multiplicity of different ways courage can be embodied, you see. So that was one step in my thought that God is mind, God is logos, as well as being agape, love. But that just as our concept is simple, even though it embraces this totality of individual concrete examples. So maybe in some way, which we'll never fully understand, God's simplicity is something which does not mean he's like a rock, which isn't that simple either, but or like some one thing, but God is logos, which can embrace many things and still be simple. And the second stage is the very word logos, because logos is a Greek word that means word, and we can say word or Wort in German or parole in French or logos in Greek, but we know what words are. We know what they look at all the words there are, but by that sound word in English, which, like the word parole in French, leads back to an idea, a concept which is wordless, really, in that sense. It's not dependent upon which language it's expressed in, that the very word word can embrace all words and still be simple. And so in some way, I don't know, I can't explain it, I'm not sure anybody can, that God is simple in the way a word is simple, although it embraces all words, and logos is simple, the logos, the word of the Father. So that's my scattered thought for the day.